Today I fucked up by having my husband take a photo of my vag. Okay, so I was in the shower cleaning my lady parts and I felt a small lump on my labia, and not being a contortionist I couldn't get a look at it, but it was very tender. After getting out of the shower I asked my husband to take a look at it for me and let me know if it was a pimple/ingrown hair or something I maybe needed to mention to the doctor. Of course he agreed, but just kept saying it looked like a bump, which was less than helpful. He then offered to take a picture of it and show me so I could see for myself. I was horrified, not by the small pimple, but because I've never seen my own vagina/vulva before from that angle. Why in God's name is there so much hair on my ass down there? I keep the front trimmed and always assumed that everyone has a little bit of ass crack hair, but this was more than that. This was on the bottom of my ass cheeks. I have what I now call truck-attained Robin Williams hairy butt cheeks, but only at anus level and below. So I've trimmed/shaved the front and had a fucking genital mullet my entire adulthood. I'm yelling all this at my husband, who finds my choice of words hilarious, and he asks, "Don't you feel it when you wash it?" No, MFR, I use a washcloth or a bar of soap. If I knew about it I would have had to use shampoo and conditioner on my ass mane. I'm devastated at the moment and will be going to get this truck-attained taken care of tomorrow by a professional waxer, not hairstylist. TL Doctor, I learned through a photo that I have a disgusting amount of thick hair on my ass cheeks by my vag, and I'm now calling it truck-attained, but I'm getting rid of it ASAP. Edit, I did not delete this post, the mods must have. I reached out, no answer. IDK. Edit 2, I considered it a fuck up BC. I was blissfully and ignorantly hairy before, and now I have another body issue to worry about. This was hilarious but friendly woman to woman tip. Do not squeeze those pimples. You don't want anything that might be in pus in or around your genitalia. Just use a moist warm compress and keep an eye on it. I'm always impressed by how a few ass hairs are long enough to be donated to Locks of Love. I'm not religious, but I'm going to pray for you tonight. OPLS go the hairstyler route. Lamau. Get a perm, maybe some highlights and an updo. Please make sure it's deleted from the cloud so it doesn't end up a today I fucked up when my gooch was on a 72-inch TV screensaver. Omg. Thanks for the laugh exclamation mark. My wife was hysterical while I was reading this to her. She feels your pain. She just discovered her brown colored labia recently after I took a similar situational picture. She's soon to be 57. I now call her Vag Winona, as in Winona's big brown beaver. Oh thanks. Mine has always been named Kim Jong-il BC. It's small, angry, I have endometriosis, and it has a stupid haircut. Tell Winona that Kim said hi. Today I fucked up by telling his GF they had louder sex than normal last Monday. So in college I lived in these really nice dorms. Single bedrooms with private bathrooms and a shared living space with 3 others. Great place but terrible roommates and paper-thin walls. I lived on the ground floor so I could hear everything my upstairs neighbors and roommates did. The bed upstairs was ridiculously loud and used often, if you catch my drift. At least every day the guy above me was going ham with his GF. It was always the same voices until the music was blasted and the bed started squeaking, so I kind of adjusted to the sound and would just put headphones in or turn my TV up a little if it wasn't too late. A friend I met through class mentioned she lived in the same building and hung out with the guys in the apartment above me. She decided to introduce us so we could meet the hot Mark. I guess 2 of the 4 guys were named Mark, but one with a C and the other a K. Sucks that this guy got called Mark with a K while his dude got Hot Mark. So I meet the not Marks and suddenly Hot Mark comes out without a shirt and starts flirting with me. What a great day. The guys started wrestling at some point, and when the fan fell over I finally put 2 and 2 together and figured out what the unidentified sound that happens once a week was. I mentioned it to Mark and he started laughing. He asked me to wait in the living room so he could get Mark with a K, since he was curious if he was playing his music too loud, since his roommates always ripped on him about it. Mark comes out with a girl and gets excited when he realizes I'm the one below him and has the opportunity to tell off his roommates about always playing music since their excuse was that I might be able to hear it. I burst his bubble and let him know I definitely could hear it. I then told him, yeah, man, I can hear everything. Mark, what do you mean? Like, everything? Me, yeah, especially last Monday. You guys were really loud. Suddenly the whole room went quiet and eyes were on me. His girl stopped and gave me a look I'll never be able to describe or replicate, except that it was like staring into the face of pure rage. Mark, you mean Tuesday? Me getting the feeling that this was private information. Yeah, I guess I meant Tuesday. I did not mean Tuesday. His girlfriend ran out of the room and I had to listen to their fight for the next 3 days from my room below. Too long didn't read. I accidentally exposed a guy cheating on his girlfriend in front of a room full of people I just met. Aftermath: apparently she dumped him after 2 weeks of fighting. He tried to get her back the whole time, BTW. That is, until he collapsed while playing basketball the day after they broke up. She hears the news and stays with him for 36 hours, sleeping next to him in the hospital chair. She realizes someone needs to tell his mom and opens up his phone using facial recognition. Immediately she sees Tinder and multiple texts from different girls he's been seeing. She left him there after his mom came, and that's the last I heard. Edit 1, for those saying it's not a today I fucked up. It just made a really awkward moment for us, not so much that I truly fucked up. I just happened to make my living situation worse for a few weeks because they constantly fought. I'd still do it again though, because no one deserves to be cheated on. Not really today I fucked up, more like helped a girl save a chunk of her life. Honestly, I wouldn't call that a foo. Realistically, you saved this girl time and emotional attachment to someone who doesn't value her as he says. First, you exposed him not being honest with who was supposed to be his partner, who thankfully got mad at him for his actions, rather than trying to blame you or the girls he was cheating with. Second, you saved that girl what would have been a lot of wasted time in her future being attached to this guy, maybe even married, and her having to break a much stronger bond, potentially with financial strain added on. Third, the fact that he was seeing multiple people raises the risk of STD spread, to both himself and this girl. She now has the reason to get herself checked, and treated if necessary, for diseases and issues he might have given her through his exploits, without knowing. Best of all worlds, you exposed a cheater but had no reason to believe you were doing so no one could blame you. I honestly thought that when the two dudes started wrestling the revelation was going to go in a more homosexual direction. You did the right thing. Oh my god, that's pure gold right there. Poor girl, though. You did the right thing. Today I fucked up by sending my kids to school with bruises. When I picked them up from school today, I was requested to go to the principal's office. First thing I thought was, what the hell did my dumbass kid do this time? Stroll on in only to find out that the administration was concerned that both my kids have bruises on their legs, arms, and face. I immediately thought, oh shit, they are about to call CPS on me. Now, I don't beat my kids, in fact, I've never laid a hand on them. You see, my kids train in jiu-jitsu and have been going hard on their training now that COVID restrictions have been relaxed. It was a very interesting conversation. I had video evidence of my kid getting a foot in the face and they ended up being very embarrassed about the whole thing. Honestly though, I'm glad they called me in, because you never know what home life is like, and hopefully they've gotten some kids out of a bad situation. Too long didn't read. School thought I beat my kids, but all their bruises come from jiu-jitsu training. Having been a teacher who had students who tried to hide bruises and cigarette burns, it would be a huge relief for the staff. I'm glad that your kids have teachers who care enough to say something. No doubt. They are a great staff and grateful that they even bring it up. My toddlers and preschooler look like they are actively pursuing a career in MMA. I will never forget the time a few years ago when I got a call from my kids' school asking me if we would like to get on the list for some free Christmas presents. I was super confused, not understanding, until it clicked that they thought we were super poor because my heathen children were always wearing clothes with holes in them due to their rough play. I had to explain that I just hadn't replaced their clothing because I was spending a fortune replacing things every other week. The woman was so embarrassed for calling, but I thought it was super sweet that they offered this to those who couldn't afford it. I've made sure to keep on top of the clothing situation since then. 4 boys go through clothes very quickly, though. Haha. I had a teacher my junior year of high school pull me out of class and ask if my home life was okay. It really took me aback and I couldn't begin to imagine why. Then I realized that since I played football, it looked like I was beaten with the amount of bruises and cuts I had on a daily basis. She was embarrassed when I told her, but honestly I'm so grateful she cared enough to ask. I'm a veterinary nurse and I get the crap beat out of me on a daily basis. My arms are covered in scratches right now and I swear I look like I self-harm. When people ask me what happened, I just say #vetchlife. My legs are usually bruised too from getting kicked by large dogs. I've had my mom ask me if I was in an unsafe relationship. Funny thing is, she knew I got beat up my dogs/cats at work. It's a living. When my son was just a little dude, we had a game we'd play. I'd change his diaper and then grab his legs and scooch him back and forth along the floor. He'd giggle and clap and we'd all feel good. Then we moved to an apartment. I tried that game again and he cried. I rolled him over, and his onesie had ridden up and I'd carpet burned all the skin off his back. Well, not all the skin, but he had a big patch of carpet burn on his back. Worse yet, it was vaguely triangular shaped and looked like it was an imprint of an iron. We'd just moved to the area and started him at a new daycare, and I spent the whole day waiting for cops to show up. They never did, but I was sweating the whole time. I think the apartment had super strength carpet and it acted differently than our carpet had at home. Either way, I still feel kinda bad about it, and I totally feel your pain of just knowing that CPS is on the way.